tonight's topic, we are going to talk about 5 ways to play your best partner golf. So Kathy Hart Wood's going to come by it as more of a mental game side. And then we got Justin that's going to talk specifically about the formats and how to play strategically for scramble and best ball. And then obviously we have Kimberly Eaton here to share all her expertise from the thousands and thousands of rounds she's played. All right, so Kathy Hart Wood, please introduce yourself to this amazing group of women.
Okay. Hi, I'm so happy to be here. If you don't know me, my name is Kathy Hart Wood. I have a podcast called Above Par. Think above par to play below par. So I hope you check it out on any of your podcast platforms that you like. But today we're talking about 5 ways to be a better golf partner. And one of the things is, especially if you're new here and you're playing partner golf, we're really concerned about our partner. Like whether you admit it or not, there's certain topics or things or things in your head and emotions that you're going to have where you're worried about your partner. So we wanted to focus on that a little bit today so that you could be a really good partner. Now, one of the things that I talk about on you being able to play your best golf is you got to take care of you, which means you want to be in your best state. And when I say state, it's not Texas or California or Arizona or Florida. I'm saying it's state as in your emotional state, like how you perform the best. And I call that one of the 3 C's. For you to perform your best, which means for you to think clearly and swing freely, you want to be either calm, certain, or confident. And most of you can probably tap into that you're on the range and you're hitting really great shots, but you go to the golf course and you feel like a different person shows up, or that people are watching you and you're like, what the heck, I can't even swing. Or you get worried about making a 6 or embarrassing yourself, or you're worried about other people watching you, or anxiety or pressure, all those things. They get in the way of you being able to perform your best. That is mental golf. Golf is very mental. We can have 7 emotions on one hole, right? And if we're not very good at managing our emotions, period, you're not going to be very good at managing them in 60 seconds before you have to hit your next shot. So when you're out there playing as a partner, one of the things that I would suggest is make sure that you're focusing on you and how you're going to be in your best state. So some of the things that I'm going to talk about is making sure that you're taking care of you and making sure that you're not disrupting your partner and taking them out of their best state. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about, am I talking too much? No. Okay. Okay. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is to minimize pressure. So who here might be feeling a little bit about pressure? The hands went up before I asked the question. Pressure, right? So pressure is going to show up with you're going to squeeze the club tighter. You're going to swing a little bit faster. You're not going to think clearly. You're going to make some wonky swings, and you're going to wonder why that swing that you can do on the range isn't showing up on the golf course. And I'm going to give you 2 phrases to minimize tomorrow. So words create your emotions. Words create pressure. Okay. I'm not going to go into it here, but there is no such thing as a pressure shot. I know nobody believes that, but it's true because pressure is an emotion, right? So, but it comes from you saying, I have to, or I need to. So if you are your partner tomorrow, say, I have to make this putt, or you need to make this putt, right? Or you have to hit the green, or we need to get up and down. If you can already think of those words, they're already causing pressure. And if you have pressure, you're going to squeeze, like I said, tighter. Your tempo is going to be wonky, and you're not going to make your best shots. So the first thing that I want you to do, and before I actually, all of these, the best thing that you could do is communicate with your partner. You guys just have an agreement. Like, listen, we're not going to say I have to. We're not going to say I need to. Right? We're just like, have a talk, have a glass of wine and then have a nice talk, right? Or a drink, whatever you want. And like agree not to say, I have to, or I need to make a shot or make a putt or hit the green or get up and down. None of that, because it produces pressure.
Or how about this one? Have you ever had a partner, or maybe you've said it yourself, where they say, it's your hole, buddy.
Did I say that? I never said that.
You've said it to me a couple times. I've probably said it to you, too.
No, or the other big thing is there are no sorries in golf.
Yeah.
You know, don't say you're sorry. You're out there doing your best, and that's all we can ask for is for you to do your best and have the best time doing it.
Yeah. Justin, how do you deal with pressure out there? I know you're not out there competing Well, okay, wait. I don't know if you guys, what was the last podcast we did together, Justin? Did we do one
The
just recently?
2024, like
The goals.
New Year's,
Did
resolution.
anyone listen to the podcast where Justin told us his goal for 2024? Because I feel like I want him to revisit it right now. What is it, Justin?
I'm gonna play in a competitive tournament. I'm a golf teaching professional. I've been teaching golf for a long time, but I haven't played professionally as an individual in a tournament since 2009. I think was the last time I played individually in a tournament, and I'm sweating my balls off right now. So I'm gonna try to put myself out there for 2024.
No, that's amazing. And we're going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
Because we're going to want you to
I'll coach
share
you
about
through
it.
Yeah, I love
Yes,
it.
see?
I'm gonna need that coach.
And he was being a little humble right there. He is one of the best teaching professionals in the country. Okay, so not just some little teaching professional. Justin is the absolute best. So,
Thank you.
Justin, what do you have about strategy in regards to what's first in your notes?
So my first thing in the notes is that you all are going to be playing in a scramble / better ball tournament this week. And a lot of this comes down to is order of drive. Who's going to hit the first drive on each of the tees? Because one of the most important clubs in your bag is the driver. A lot of people say like the putter or the wedge is the most important club in your bag, but a lot of people would actually say the driver is. Why? Because it actually sets the tone for the hole. So when it comes to which person should be hitting the shot first, I've kind of come up with a formula that I think can help you when you're going out and trying to decide who will hit it first. If you know yourself and you know your partner, if both of you are not confident players, or if you both are very, very confident off the tee. So if you're both the same, I think the shorter hitter of the two should be hitting first. Get the ball in play so that the longer player can just wail away. Okay. But if you know your partner and one of you is a really confident hitter and the other one's not as confident, I want that confident hitter going first, right? Let's set the tone really well, get a good drive out in the play. So then the person who is not as confident doesn't have to feel as much of that pressure. But if you both are not confident or both are confident, I want the shorter of the two hitters to hit. So that second hitter who's a longer hitter can just wail away on that second drive. So that would be my first tip when it comes to partner play in better ball or scramble.
And Kim, one of the scramble rules is that each partner has to hit at least 6 tee shots. Okay, what's your view on that rule? And because a lot of times someone can be on a roll and you're constantly taking their drive and the partner's probably thinking to themselves, oh shit, when are we going to get my drives in?
Well, I think it's kind of important that you use everybody's drive a couple times. Look at some of the shorter holes, and if you have a person that's not as confident with their drives, plan on using those drives on the shorter holes possibly so they feel like they're going to be helping in everything.
And a shorter hole could be a shorter par 5 too.
Shorter par 5, par 3.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Kathy, what do you have? Number 2. I thought you were going to interrupt Kim right there.
I so want to interrupt Kim.
She always wants to interrupt
Go
me.
for it.
It's not true. No, you just can't tee things up so that I can,
Nail you with them.
yeah. Last week we had you'll hear the podcast. It was interesting. Okay, so Kim alluded to this already. My second one, though, all of my topics, like there's really, when you play partner golf, there's things that you're going to struggle with. And for the most part, it's going to be pressure. It's going to be trying too hard. You're going to try hard, really hard out there to play well. You're going to worry about what your partner thinks. You might be worrying about what the other 2 people in your group think. You're going to be worrying about disappointing your partner. You might be worrying about disappointing yourself, right? And you're going to worry about not making mistakes so you embarrass yourself, right? These are the big things that happen with partner golf. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was minimizing disappointment, right? You want to minimize disappointment in yourself. And so, because disappointment is not a great place to play golf from. It is not calm, certain, or confident. You're not going to be able to focus very well. And one of the biggest ways that we do that, which Kim alluded to, is apologizing for missed shots. The reality is you're going to miss shots. You're going to hit shots at the wrong time. That's golf. But when you say, I'm sorry, or I didn't mean to do that, you feel bad. And it's going to take you energy to get back to being calm, certain, or confident for you to make your best swing. So you don't want your partner to do it, and you don't want to do it. You have to agree ahead of time. The reason that we don't want to say that is because it takes us into a negative emotion that is not where you're going to be able to perform your best golf. So just agree ahead of time. We're all doing the best we can. We are going to miss shots. That's who I am. We, as golfers, we're going to all do it. And you didn't mean to do it. So just agree not to take yourself down that rabbit hole where you're going to feel crappy about what you just did, because your partner needs you to be present and focused and calm.
Kathy, can you touch on, because maybe one of you guys has said it in the past, statements along the lines of, oh God, I'm a horrible putter. I always miss those short putts.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I can't hit this driver. I always miss it right.
Yeah.
Statements like that.
Okay, so negative, if you have a negative thought, a negative comment, you're going to feel negative. A negative emotion is going to create negative results, right? And it's easy for our brains to go there. A lot of us have very mismanaged brains, and we like to, okay, I'm just going to say like 90% of the planet has mismanaged brains. So, and definitely on the golf course, the problem with golf, or not the problem, but what golf does is it reveals our ability to manage our minds, because things are happening so quickly. Off the golf course, we have time to have wine and some desserts over here to feel better, but it's like, it's your turn to hit. Like, you got to figure out how to get over your anger, your disappointment, your frustration, all of those things before you hit the next shot. So every single word that comes out of your mouth matters. Your brain hears it and you feel it, and it is going to affect your results. So if you're telling yourself you suck at hitting putts, you suck at driving, guess what? You're going to suck, right? It's just going to happen. So the chances of you being able to hit a great shot after that are slim and none. So agree not to beat yourself up on and off the golf course.
Justin, what do you have for us?
I want to follow up on that too. A lot of times when I see students who are apologizing out on the course, apologizing to their plates, oh, I'm so sorry I hit that shot. I'm not that good. I suck at putting, all that type of stuff. You're building up a defense mechanism that's going to try to defend you against the judgment of the people that you're playing with, thinking that they're judging you. You think that they're watching you. When you hit a bad shot, I promise you, no one sees it. Nobody does, because everyone is out there worried that you're looking at their shots and judging them on their shots. I actually play sometimes with students, and when I go out and I actually get to go play with them, I am constantly worried that they're going to look at me and think, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Let's see how he hits his shots. So by the third or fourth hole, they turn to me and say, oh my God, Justin, so what do you think of my swing after 3 or 4 holes? I'm like, I haven't been watching you. I've been thinking about my own game the whole time. So when you're apologizing for these bad shots, you're apologizing for something that literally nobody saw, nobody's going to remember. So the sooner that you can forget it, it's going to help you immensely.
Exactly. All right. So what about on the strategy side?
Okay, strategy side. So this is something I've been giving to a lot of people when it comes to where you place your ball as you're getting yourself to the place where you're about to approach the shot into the green. So let's say you're hitting your second shot on a par 5 where you're going to try to hit the green in 3. Where you want that shot to be is on the opposite side of wherever the flag is. So try to find, this is what I call the optimal angle. We want to try to find the optimal angle into the flag. So if the pin is on the left side, when you're hitting your second shot on a par 5, we want to be anywhere down on the right side. I'm just going to get rid of that. I keep kicking that. So if the pin is on the left side, you want to be at somewhere on the right side of that fairway. If the pin is on the right side, you want to be somewhere on the left side of that fairway. We want to give yourself that optimal angle coming into the green. So try to find that, whether you're in the scramble format or in the better ball, finding that optimal angle into the flag. The only hole that you really can't control that on is the par 3s, because the tee box is already set up. But on your par 4, where do you want to hit your drive? Down the right side if the pin's on the left. If the pin's on the right, you want to be down on the left side. Try to hit that optimal angle, and it's going to increase your odds immensely of playing better when you're out on the course.
Kim, any feedback?
No, I think that's a great idea. And you will see that on this golf course, there are some areas that you definitely want to do that because of the green side bunkers and stuff. So you really want to check that out and see where you want to hit it because of those green side bunkers.
I know. So Kim actually was a player last week. She's going to be helping out this week, but she was a player last week. Kim, how's the course playing? What do the greens feel like? What's going on? What's your biggest
Well, I
piece
thought
of
the
advice?
course was in great shape. By the afternoon,
I'm ready.
No, I think the golf course is in good shape. The greens are good. I will tell you, the mountains. I don't think I gave this tip last week, but the mountains behind you, say like if you're on the driving range, those mountains there, the balls are faster if you're putting away from the mountain. They're slower going into the mountain. Every green there breaks towards the city of Phoenix. So there you go.
Yeah.
And on number 1, try and stay below the hole if you can.
Well, I would say on number 1, you want to hit to the left side.
Well,
of the
you
green.
want to hit it to the left, it'll roll down to the right. If you hit it to the right, you're probably going to be in the water.
Yeah. Shoot, I just lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Kathy.
That was good, Kim.
Yeah, better.
Watching my P's and
So
Q's tonight.
last week we had a very similar podcast, but different. And so I asked Kim, I go, Kim, a lot of people haven't played Papago here. What is your best advice you can give them for playing Papago? And what
I
did she
said,
say?
Keep it in the fairway.
No, and Kathy had a field day with that. Like, thanks, Kim.
Like, what hole don't we want to hit it in the fairway? Yeah. Anyway.
All right, go for it, Kathy.
Okay, that was fun though, Kim. Okay, so the other thing that our brains love to do. So think about your brain. I want you to think about any given day, you wake up every day with a certain amount of poker chips to focus. Once you're out of poker chips, you're mental toast. So if you find that you've played a round of golf and you're just like fatigued, you're mentally fatigued, or maybe at the end of the day, you're just a little tired and you have nothing left, it's because you've used up all of your poker chips. Like, so when you're out there playing golf, I want you to think about where you're going to spend your energy, your mental energy. Like, are you going to be complaining about things on the golf course? Are you going to be focusing on things that you already did in the past? Like, I can't believe I missed that putt 3 holes ago. Okay, it's a waste of energy, right? I can't believe these girls in this group are wearing yellow today. Like, you're wasting energy, pace of play, anything to do with things that you cannot control, things that have happened in the past is a waste of your energy, and they're contagious. So if you start talking about it, your partner's going to start talking about it. And then you're going to get down to 16 or 17. One, you're not present. You're not focused on what you're supposed to be doing. And then when you get down to the last few holes, you're going to be super tired mentally, and you're going to start making those stupid mistakes. So don't argue with or complain about things that you cannot control, because you're always going to lose every single time. You're going to lose that you 3-putted 3 holes ago, because it's not going to change. So just remind yourself and remind your partner on what we're going to do on this next shot at hand, and be mindful about what you complain about, talk about, or what you give energy to.
I don't think I have room for enough of those poker chips.
Another thing, Kathy, I want you to touch on is pace of play. So these rounds of golf the next 3 days are not going to be a fast 3.5-hour round that you're playing at your club, okay? They're going to be longer. So I think it is better to come in prepared for that and be able to be in the right mental space to be like, okay, this is not going to be a super fast round. We got to have strategies to make us not get all pissed off. I get it. I don't want to be out there for 6 hours either. So what advice do you have for those times where pace of play is annoying the shit out of you?
There's things that you can't control, and I like to make the analogy to pace of play to traffic. So if you get stuck in traffic somewhere, there's not a damn thing you can do about it, but you can sit in your vehicle and complain and bitch and moan all you want at your own expense. You're the only person who suffers. You can't control a dang thing about it, right? So you being angry and complaining and beating the wheel and doing all those things, you do so at your own expense. Golf is the same way. Like, you can only control where you're going. Like, if there's traffic and you're going 30 and a 75, that's a problem, right? You're going to get people on your butt. Like, so you want to keep up with the traffic that's in front of you. But if it's bumper to bumper traffic and you find yourself complaining in your head, you're arguing with reality again. I tell a lot of my clients and people who work with me, I said a place for you to manage your emotions, not just relevant to the pace of play, but the way for you to manage your emotions is in your car in traffic, because that is where you're in a container to sit there and deal with anger and frustration and annoyance and all the things. And no matter how long you've had a driver's license, it's existed. So when you sit there and say, I can't believe that person cut me off, I can't believe it's slow play or slow traffic, I can't believe someone's riding my butt, it's the next day it's going to be the same thing. You're arguing with reality because people do all those things. And when we play golf, we're going to have slow play. So you will benefit yourself if you just surrender to it and kind of just go with the flow and not argue with it.
We're lucky in that this week we get 2 more minutes of daylight. I'm just letting you know that because we will be finishing in the dark just like it is right now.
Well, we're going to be finishing right about right now.
Yeah.
But that's why we try and start as early as possible. I remember I was in a competitive round and I was getting really annoyed by my playing partners. Pace of play was very slow. And I said that to one of my coaches, and he's like, you have to make a challenge out of it. You have to make it a challenge. Like, yeah, this is very uncomfortable. It's going to get you angry. How are you going to deal with it and still play your best golf? Because it is what it is. It is what it is.
Being angry, being annoyed, being frustrated is not calm, certain, or confident. So you're doing so at your own expense. You just got to know that, right? You're gonna just get yourself agitated. Your energy's gonna get up, and there's nothing you can do about it. So if you get ahead of it, if you're like, I got a plan for when pace of play gets slow, I'm just gonna go a little bit slower. I'm gonna move with whatever the pace is, and just get into a different rhythm. You are going to be way more ahead of the rest of the field. The person who manages their mind the best has an advantage over the rest of the field. So set that as a goal for tomorrow.
All right, Justin, I want you to get into more strategy. But before I forget, I know I said this on the Zoom call. We want to steer clear of all bunkers, okay? We do not want to risk going into the bunkers. But just in case you do get into a bunker and you get a nice papago lie, which is a fried egg, Justin, tell us how to hit out of a bunker of a fried egg. How do we approach that?
My biggest advice when it comes to a fried egg when you're in a bunker is a bit more of a closed face, more square to even almost a little bit more closed. And you're not trying to hit you're trying to hit the fried egg, right? So you're trying to hit the edge of the fried egg, and you want to actually dig into the sand there. A lot of times an open face sometimes actually helps you blade that ball. So if you can get that face just a little bit more closed and allow that to dig just a tad bit more and start at where the fried egg actually starts, we do a little bit more of that. It's going to come out more like a chunk and run. It's going to run a little bit more, but it at least gets the ball out of that fried egg. It would be and swing like hell. Most people do not swing hard enough out of a bunker. They swing just way too soft. They see it as a 10, 15-yard shot, but you need a swing speed that's probably going to hit the ball probably closer to like 70 or 80 yards, and then you hit the sand, which actually kills your speed. Most people do not swing fast enough. And actually, I just went to a short game coach was speaking at a seminar that I put on, and when I watched him hit bunker shots, he swung harder than I've ever even thought to swing. And after watching that, I actually even started swinging even faster than I had before. And my bunker shots just got better and better and better. The faster you swing at a bunker shot, the better it's going to actually be.
That's really scary though, Justin. Okay.
Pony up.
We're all like, no.
Well, you have to realize, if you think about it, the bunker shot should be the easiest shot in golf because it's the only one that you don't hit the ball. You hit the sand first.
Yeah, true. All right, Justin, what do you have on the strategy side?
Okay, strategy side. Optimal angle, we already talked about that. So we want to be on the opposite side of the fairway of where the flag is. Now I'm going to talk about when you're hitting the ball into the green. So when you're about to go hit into the green. There's another stat that I like to sometimes track with a lot of my students, and it's called short side avoidance. short side avoidance. So that basically means you don't want to miss the green on the same side as the flag. So when the pin is in the back right, if you can be anywhere on the back left, I'm so glad that there's no more cups for me to hit here. Oh, it's fine. So if the pin is in the back left, we want to be anywhere on the short right, and so that we have a much easier shot coming into this flag. Going for flags most of the time is something that's usually going to get us into trouble. However, when you're playing partner golf, if you have one of your players gets into that short side avoidance, meaning on the opposite side of that green of where the flag is, now that gives an open area for your partner to actually go for that flag, play a much more aggressive route to it. So short side avoidance is going to be really big key. A lot of times I actually have told that to some people when the pin is actually front left. Going into the back right of the green kind of gives you an opportunity to at least get onto the green. And if you miss the green long right, it's actually sometimes an easier chip to go into that flag because you're on the opposite side of the flag. So if you can hit that short side avoidance when you're coming into a green, it's going to set yourself up for avoiding those bigger numbers, especially on the better ball day.
And here's the thing. There's a way to avoid the bunkers. There's no way to avoid the desert. The desert will come into play. You're going to have to hit your ball out of the desert. So Justin, remind us, what is the best way to approach a shot that you have to hit out of the hard pan desert?
Yeah, so the big key when you're hitting out of the hard pan desert is that you catch the little ball first and the big ball second. The little ball is the golf ball. The big ball is planet Earth. We do want to hit planet Earth, but we want to hit that planet Earth after we hit the ball. Couple of tips that I like to help when people are trying to hit out of the desert is first, use a club that has a little bit more loft. When you're in trouble, we want a more lofted club when getting out of the desert. Second thing, when it helps with getting the divot a little bit more out in front, playing the ball a little bit further back in your stance when you normally would play the ball helps that chances of catching that earth after the ball. Keeping your weight a little bit more on the left foot is another big key of getting that divot to be out more in front. A lot of times people are trying to help the ball go up into the air so they move their weight into their back foot. So if we can keep that weight a little bit more into that left side, it's a huge key. So ball position back, weight left, and then use some loft when trying to get out of that desert.
Weight front.
Yeah. The other thing I would tell you, get out. Like, get your ball back into play. Don't take off more than you can chew. I think there's nothing going to be more frustrating than when you're in the desert or a long bunker and your next shot, you're still in the desert or the long bunker. So get your ball back into the grass as soon as possible and avoid the urge and your ego to tell you to try and carry more than you can.
All right, Kathy, what else do you have? What can you finish us off with?
Okay, I have two more things.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, are we out of time? Okay, so this would be, okay, so they can go together.
She gave me a look.
I can mend them together. So this is about communicating again and again. Everything is about how you're going to get to feel. And so everybody is different and everybody's brains function differently. But this is a huge thing. This is a huge thing when I know all of us up here play golf with other people, is you want to make sure that you know what you not to say. I'm going to get you started. Don't point out the trouble. Don't say, oh, don't hit it in the water. Don't hit it out of bounds. Don't hit it in the bunker. Don't hit it in the desert. Watch out for that big rock. Like, that's like a really, really hard hole. You don't want to say these things because what happens is your brain doesn't hear don't. It just hears attention. So where do you want your ball to go? Make sure that you're focusing on the attention. So that's something to avoid. Another thing that I have not ever found really useful, especially for this level golfer, is to remind someone that they get a shot here. Like, right? So if you say that, don't forget you get a shot here. Like, this is a big hole. This one's important. Like, we got to make sure we play well here. Right? So if you were that good, no offense, if you were so good that you could turn it on when you had a shot, why the hell haven't you been doing it the whole time? Okay, so don't remind your partner that you're getting a shot here unless they want you to. And they're like, if they're about to pick up the ball and you're like, whoa, you need to finish that sucker. fine. Okay, but otherwise it's not serving a purpose. There might be some other things that you don't want them to say. It's like, don't bring up my wonky backswing. Don't remind me that I'm across the top. Don't remind me that I sway. Those things don't help me. They make me focus on my swing. So make sure that you communicate those to your partner when you're out there playing golf on things not to say as well. Let's agree on the first one. Don't do it. But if there's things about your swing that you're working on or things that you just don't like to hear, make sure that you communicate that with your partner.
And I would say be responsible of your own pops. Like no one else is responsible for knowing when you pop. Just you. So really right before you go to, usually I check like before you're walking up to the green. But like no, if you have a pop so that you can be in charge of it, so you can have ownership over it. It's not your playing partner's job to stop you and say, oh, wait, no, you have a pop. Because once you pick up that ball, it's picked up. You can't put it back down. All right? So know yourself when you have your pops.
And you will know in this format, in the better ball, well, they're doing a Stableford format, so you can pick up your ball after you have a double bogey, net double bogey. So if you're past a net double bogey, pick up your ball and let's move on.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so funny because I don't say pop. Can you tell? Like, so pop.
Yeah.
But I said pop. I say pop for Coke. Like, you know, like I'm from that part of the country. You know. We're from the same pop. Yeah. Anyway, so funny.
Justin, what other strategy do you have for us?
Yeah, my next strategy is going to be when you go out, I don't know Papago so well, so you're going to probably maybe help me on which holes are the hard ones, the medium ones, and the easy ones. But I'm a big fan of when you go out there, how many of them have played Papago before?
I don't know. Raise your hand if you've played Papago before. Not a lot. Not a lot. So, Justin, show them how you can figure out what the hardest holes are.
So when you go up to a hole, you kind of know, wow, this is a hard and intimidating hole. That means it's a hard and an intimidating hole for the entire field. It is not just hard and intimidating for you. So it's okay, especially on the better ball or even on the scramble day, to make a bogey on a particular hole. A lot of people think, oh, I made a bogey or I made a double bogey. We're out of the tournament. Allow yourself to have 6 hard holes out there where you're not going to score as well, and be okay with having a score on a hole that's not as good as you could have had. Then you're going to play a couple of holes when you're out there that seem really easy. Wow, there's not a lot of trouble in front of me. This seems a lot shorter than the other holes. This is your green light hole. This is where you get to kind of go for the pin, try to make a birdie, you know. So identify when you see a really, really easy hole, go ahead and lick your chops and go ahead and go for it. But when it's a harder hole, be okay on yourself. Don't be your worst enemy out there, and be okay with having a bad hole. I always like identifying those 6 really hard holes and being okay with a bogey on those holes, 6 medium holes where it's like, okay, these are going to be my par holes, and then 6 really easy holes, and these are the holes that we're going to go for our birdie, right? So, or net birdies. So be okay with having a bad hole. Know that you're not out of the tournament. Allow yourself to have a bad hole and just move on, because know that everybody else is going to have those same bad holes as well and going to run into those same trouble holes as well.
Best, I would say,
probably one of the harder holes for a lot of you women is going to be hole number 11. Par 3 over water. I will be out there to cheer you on all day long. And if you get on the green, I might have a treat for you. And we'll be doing a little dancing maybe if you get on the green. Oh, speaking of tequila, if you want to make your partner happy, just buy them what they like to drink. Oh, no, just kidding. Anyway. Thanks, Stephanie. Anyway, yeah, so I'll be out on number 11 all day with you tomorrow. So we're going to hit some great shots into number 11.
So I've had the privilege of making some incredible programs with Justin. And one of the programs we've done in the past is called Before Golf. It was for beginner golfers. And one of the videos we did was teaching them what red penalty line is and yellow. And we were walking through that. Well, it was time for Justin on camera to hit a shot, not in the water, but over the water on number 11. And I think it took him 3 times. It was on
like,
the blooper
all right,
reel.
go ahead, Justin, let's see how you do it. And I was like, all right, here I go. Boom, splash right in the water. All right, take 2. splash right in the water.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it
It's a hard
happens.
hole. And if I remember, there's a little bit of opening on the right. It's open on the right,
Yes.
right?
There is
So-
an opening on the right that you can kind of hit off.
So I said this stat the last time that we recorded this, but I can't say it enough. Think if you all were professional golfers, okay? So think if you're a professional golfer, you play on the LPGA Tour for a living. Think about how many greens in regulation that you would hit on average. Have that number in your head on how many you think that you would be hitting on average, meaning the ball is on the green in regulation, on in 1 in a par 3, on in 2 on a par 4, on in 3 on a par 5. Think about how many you think that they're on average hitting. Now you have that number in your head. It's 12 to 13 greens in regulation. If you were a professional golfer, if you are a 0 handicap golfer, you average 9 greens in regulation. So they just don't hit that many greens in regulation. So when I'm talking about my 6 hard holes, like hole number 11, it's okay if you miss this green. It's okay if you purposely hit the ball way over there to the right, give yourself an easy chip onto the green, and be okay with maybe making a bogey on that particular hole. I think it's just such a better strategy than trying to hit the hero shot and then running into a double or triple bogey.
I said that. I said bogeys will win this tournament. They really will. They really will.
And we all make them. I have to tell you, I probably made 3 or 4 double bogeys last week. So it happens to everybody.
I hope you picked up your ball.
What? No, I never pick up my ball.
Oh. All right, Kathy.
Okay, last thing I have to share with you is have a conversation with your partner again and decide what you do want them to say to you. This is important. Like, what would you say if you were caddying for your partner? If they were having a hard hole, what would you say to them? What words would you say if they were getting down on themselves, or they made a mistake, or if they hit it in the water, or if they 3-putted? What words would you say to them? Likely the words that you would pick would be things that you want to hear. So have your partner be there as your encouragement and as your support, and share with them what to say to you. Because sometimes your partner doesn't know, right? They have no idea what you want to hear or what you need to hear. And the last thing that you want after you've made a mistake is to hear words that are like fingernails on a chalkboard, right? That are really annoying to you, because even though their best interest is there to try and help you. So share with them some things that you would like to hear.
Do you have any more strategy that you want to share with us?
about that?
My last strategy was a little bit more on what Kathy had talked about earlier, but it's controlling your conversations within your group. And it's okay to have conversations that's not about golf, but make sure that those conversations are something that's very positive. What cute outfits you're wearing that day, things that you're excited about your family going on, or things that are positive that are going on in your family. Anything that's super positive, that's even non-golf related, keeps you in that nice positive mindset, which then usually brings out the more positive shots when you're out on the golf course. So control your conversations inside of during the tournament, and make sure that they're always positive ones, even if it has nothing to do with golf.
100%.
Get ready to get hyped up and have the best time.
Yeah. I can't say it enough. I'm so excited about this week. You're going to have an amazing time. I want to cut things short with us here at the podcast because I want you guys to have an opportunity to talk to Kathy Hart Wood and Justin Klemballa directly. I know there'll come a day where we're saying, remember when those guys used to come here? Because they're going to be big time really soon. So take this opportunity to talk to them, ask them questions, get some strategy for tomorrow. Thank you again for both being here. And thank you, Kimberly, too, for being on the podcast. I appreciate you. All right, ladies, again, if you have any questions, we'll be roaming around. Thank you for being here, and let's get this party started.
Every night we have some trouble.